One thing I've learned is that in order for people to treat you right, you got to love yourself and treat yourself right. Um, I've gone through a lot of things in life. Mistreatment, abuse, being used, treated bad. But I learned that all those people who done me wrong, you know, really wasn't really didn't have my best interest at heart. Um, Dealing with family members and dealing with just people in general, I feel like this, if a person do wrong in life, because I'm not perfect, I have my share of wrongs, and I've done a lot of wrong in my life. But one thing I do is that, I acknowledge everything that I've done that was wrong, because I have nothing to hide. Um, but there are some people out there, you know, they see you do a wrong or whatever, and then they feel like that, they have to play God, try to, you know, punish you for something of what you done that was wrong, you know. And there's a lot of people out there that abuse their power to do just that. You know, some people can be mentally challenged or mentally ill, I should say. And, they may do something wrong. They may not even realize they're wrong at that moment, but they done it. And, somebody that's in authority, you know, don't look at it as, this person has a problem. So maybe, it's because of that problem. That's the reason why they committed that act. But rather, they'll look at it as, okay, well, since they did this, so, I'm going to pay them back for what they done that was wrong. And so they'll do sneaky stuff underneath the eyes of the law so that the law won't see what they're doing. And then they'll use that mental illness. So if that person try to speak out against what they doing, they'll use that mental illness and say, well, you know what? Ain't nobody doing nothing, Oh, she crazy, she mental, she this, she that. But then, behind closed doors, they doing dirt towards that person. And that person know that these authoritative figures doing dirt towards them. Just because a person have a mental illness don't mean anything. There's a lot of people that's smart, that's mentally ill, that hold jobs, that went to college, that got college degrees, they got high school diplomas, they done a lot with their life. So, I hate when people stereotype people with disabilities, quote unquote. For me, a lot of people done a lot of wrong towards me, and then they'll hide behind my disability and say, well, oh, she crazy, oh, she this, she that. Try to make it seem like as though they're not doing anything, but it's me. It's like my illness is at play in things. And that's not true, and that's the sad thing. And a lot of people abuse their power, like a lot of authoritative figures. Police do it, social workers do it, hospital personnel do it. A lot of people abuse their power because they feel like, okay, I have this power and I can do whatever I want with you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to cover my butt against you. So who going to believe you when you got a mental illness? See what I'm saying? And a lot of those authority figures would do that. I've encountered people who abuse their power, over me, especially when it was dealing with me dealing with the state, dealing with the loss of my kids, and a lot of people abuse their power, It's like you do what I tell you to do or this gonna happen type stuff. Not to say they literally said that, but it's something like that. And it's sad. It's sad. Instead of people working with you, they fight and work against you. I was once told by this person, uh, this person told me, she said, I'm for you now. I'm for you. But if you don't stop seeing your children's father, then I'm going to be against you. At the time of me seeing my kid's father, it was hard to break that cycle of, you know, of being with him because I loved him and because financially I didn't think I could make it without his part in helping me take care of the kids financially. So I tried my hardest to try to, stick with him, maybe try to not do this, maybe watch my mouth, maybe, try to please him, this and that, to prevent arguments and fights, and it just didn't work. And it was just the cycle that I was going through, dealing with domestic violence and dealing with my kid's father. Once he did the stuff that he done towards me physically, then we go through this honeymoon phase where he want to give me something, money or go buy something or whatever, just to cover over what he did, And then here we are back at square one. I love you, this, I'm sorry, this will never happen again. And then just kept getting more worse and worse every time I kept taking them back. So once the state did take the kids away, and placed them with their grandmother, and that's where they reside at now, as of this day. They were fully against me. Like, a lot of stuff was happening, that people on the outside don't even realize, when I was dealing with the state. And it's not some, I didn't go through some pleasant things dealing with the state at all, literally. I remember I was there in their office, and I don't know what happened to me. All I know is, I'm in their office, I'm visiting kids, and I don't know, like all of a sudden, I had to go to the bathroom. So I said, okay, Kyle, I said, come on, let's go, because I gotta go to the bathroom, y'all. Let's go. So they put their toys down and started walking towards the door, and I didn't even make it to the door. Like, it's like my bladder filled up so freaking fast. I mean, like somebody poured water inside of me and filling me up quickly. Like, I never experienced nothing like that in my life. And I couldn't hold it. And I just started, I just released. Like, I pissed on myself. Excuse me. I pissed on myself. And, I'm cooking chicken, so it has like pepper. Pepper in the seasoning. So I'm smelling the pepper in the air and making me sneeze. But I peed on myself. Now, I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that last night. And I remember the worker came in and she saw me. Because remember, she never left the area. Like, she was in, it's a room outside of the room. And they got it, whereas, there's a window where the kids play at. There's a window. And they got blinds there. And so those blinds, they open up like they was, first they was closed when we first got there. But then I noticed that I noticed that, excuse me, that they were open, and it was dark. Like you couldn't see anybody behind it because it was dark in that room. But I knew somebody was in there because um, um, so like I said, the worker came in, and we got the kids, and we moved to the front part, and my clothes was just drenched in piss, like literally. I didn't know what happened. Like I'm looking, like one moment I feel like I have the urge to pee, and I didn't have to pee bad, but I couldn't even make. Once I got to the doorway, like I said, I felt like something was feeling me. Like I could literally feel the pee just feeling in my bladder. And I'm just sitting there, like, just standing there, like, what the hell is going on here? Like, that never happened to me before. And then my body just released it. Like, I couldn't hold it. I tried, but I don't know. Like, so anyway, so she looked at me, and, the kids, she got the kids and took them to the front, whatever. The grandmother came, she left. And the worker allowed me to go home. I'm telling you now, I never ever in my life, outside of me being a child, a little kid, ever had an accident on myself. Never. I don't care if I had an infection. I don't care what was going on with me. I never had an accident on myself. And how my bladder was filling up. I mean, it literally felt like somebody was pouring water in my bladder. I could literally feel the flow of the pee in my bladder. And it was just filling up and filling up. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like I couldn't move. I was scared if I moved it, I pissed on myself. But I didn't have to worry about that because the more I try to squeeze it in, it's like it just forced its way out. And to tell you the truth, your brain usually sends signals to alert you, let you know that you got to pee. My brain didn't send me a signal at all. I felt the rush of the pee in my bladder and my pelvis. And then all of a sudden, in the end is when I felt, the urge to pee. And I ended up having an accident on myself. Now, so the worker took the kids, and the grandmother came and got them. And I told the worker, I said I couldn't hold my bladder. Like, I don't know what happened. I just know that my bladder started filling up real fast, and I felt it. And I didn't even know I had to even pee until the last moment. And so she was like, it's okay, you just go home, whatever. So went home, took a bath, and to tell you the truth, after that day, in that moment, it never happened again. Like, it never freaking happened again. And I was like, wow. That don't have anything to do with abuse of power. I just wanted to throw that in of something that happened to me when I was there. I don't want to talk about the abuse of power, what they done, because it's a long story. Like, so many things they done, like, okay, I'll mention one thing. So I text the worker one day. Me and the worker, I really had problems dealing with social workers because of the things that I've gone through in my past. And I never liked them because I felt like they didn't protect me. And a lot of stuff was happening. And something, I don't know, I just had this, didn't feel right around social workers at all. Didn't like them because of things that happened to me. We'll leave it as that. So, so I was acting very defiant around them, fighting them. Not physical fight, but fighting them in a sense of not doing some things they wanted me to do, this and that. Or I would do those things, I should say. But, just with an attitude, just had a big attitude around them. I would close the door in the worker's face and just say little things to get beside her. So, but anyways, I text the worker. I said truce, and then I said truce means, I don't want to fight you no more. I want to work with you. And so, and it was the truth. I wanted to work with her. I didn't want to fight her no more. I wanted my kids back. And so I go into her office. I met her at her office. We sat down. We talked. And and I'm trying to remember what she said exactly. She looked at me. We had a conversation. I don't remember what the conversation was about. Well, I don't remember like word for word what the conversation was. I just remember we had a conversation, and then she gives me this look. She sat her cell phone down. She gives me this look, and I mean the look was really, really it's one of those type of looks where when kids being defiant and the parents give them this look, they ain't got to whoop you or anything. They just look at you a certain way, and then you go ahead on and sit down because you already know what time it is. That's the type of look she looked at me. Here we are, woman to woman. We both grown, you know. And so she looked at me. She was like that, and she looked at me for a good minute, looking like that. And then she stopped. I had turned my head away from her because I didn't want to look at her no more. Ooh, Lord, I need some water. Okay, so she looked at me. I looked back at her, and then she stopped looking at me like that. So she was like, all right, so I'm going to give your kids back. I told her, I said, well, the apartment building where I'm staying at, I didn't know if they wanted me to stay there or not. So, or find a place because, I got 3 kids at the time. So, she's like, oh, it's up to you. You can stay there if you want to. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we had a conversation. She said what she had to say. And then I left, And then I got on the bus, to kill some time because I ain't had nothing to do that day. I didn't feel like going back to staying house. So, because we always got into it a lot. So I just said, bump it. I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to go downtown. And I'm going to just walk around and just enjoy being down there. So, I catch the bus downtown and walked around, sightseeing different buildings, went in some buildings, came out some buildings, whatever. I didn't know this lady had somebody following me around. Or watching me, I should say. Either way it go. Watch me, follow me, whatever. That's what they were doing. How I knew was, so go home, sit down, relax. The next day I go back to her office and she looked at me and started shaking her head like she never said anything, but just shook her head. And then she gonna say, you was downtown. And I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck this lady know I was downtown? That meant they watching me. And I told basically, uh, as I mentioned, I said, I was just basically down there just killing, just walking around, enjoying just being downtown. But she thought that I was down there trying to start some shit, maybe try to report her or something. And so, which wasn't even the case. Just was walking around, wasn't really doing nothing, wasn't thinking about doing anything. And so when I went to court, she didn't give me my kids back. She basically just lied. And just because she saw me, just because whoever saw me downtown, or if she was following me, somebody was following me, but whatever the case may be, she knew I was downtown, and she probably looked like, wow, I just about to give your kids, and you go down there and pull this shit type like look. So I'm like, wow. And if she ever see this video, you know, never once have I even crossed my mind to do anything but just walk around and chill out down there. Then wasn't even trying to do anything towards you or anything. And if you felt like I was down there for a reason, you could have sat down and talked to me and asked me. But you took it upon yourself to think that, okay, well, I'm down there to try to start some stuff, and really wasn't trying to do anything. What I believe is you weren't trying to give me my kids back at all. You know, um, but um, and then secondly, you didn't even have a right to even stare me down like I'm some kid. Eye me like you trying to put your authority over me and show me like, bitch. The way she was looking at it is like looking at me was like, you gonna do what I tell you to do, or you ain't gonna get nothing. Type look like that. That's exactly how she was looking at me, like really, really strongly. It's like she was sending me a message, like a threat. And that's why I turned my head. But anyways, um, and then you know, one of my relatives ended up becoming an informant towards them or of them, you know, for them, I should say. Just like police might have somebody to be an informant for them to get information about different things. The state was doing the same. The protective services, not the state of Michigan, excuse me, but protective services, had their informant that was informing them of different things of what I was doing and who I was talking to and whatever I was saying about whatever. And it was one of my own relatives. They was paying one of my own relatives to keep information coming to them about me. They had their informant. And how I knew? Because I read the texts out in that person's phone. And I saw everything. Saw it all. And I wish I would have kept that phone. I swear I wish I would have. But then. But yeah, that's crazy. Without any proof, what can anybody do? It's like my word against theirs. But it's a sad thing, you know. Sad. Um, people can love you, people can hate you. But that's one thing that protect services they can't do is sit there and try to judge me based on me staying in a relationship. And look what they do. Look what they've done since the course been over with, and even during the course. They took it upon themselves to play law to try to try to repay me for being in that relationship and losing my kids. So it's like, you trying to play God, you trying to judge me, but look what you doing. You ain't no better than me. I only stayed in a relationship. I never abused my kids. I never harmed my children. I never done anything wrong towards them. Only thing that I have underneath my belt is just neglect. Neglect for being in a relationship that wasn't good. Because of what? Out of love and out of financial reasons. And then they turn around and they doing all this other stuff. Extra stuff. I remember I was living at my mother's house and saw two of the state workers right on past my mother's house. And I believe right then and there, I'm like, I know they're not following me. Really. But I heard that they do be following people around. Like they the police or something. But anywho, that was my encounter. He drove past my house, looked me right in my face, and drove right on by. You know. But anyways, to this day, I may not like him, but I'm not going to do anything against him. Not because I'm afraid of them, because I'm not. I know what these people are about. They're no good people. And they stand behind a name. And they stand behind the fact that, oh, I can call the police and I can do this and do that. You know, because they got their back. Or I can stand behind a judge and I can get this and get an order to take away this and that. That's it. That's all they can do. You know, is to remove somebody's kid. And then they turn around, they get paid for it. You know, they get paid to take kids and place them. And that's sad. But I didn't have a really good experience dealing with the state, dealing with protective services. Excuse me. I'm going to leave the state out of it because I keep forgetting that although they call themselves the state of Michigan Department of Human Services or protective services, but I'm going to just say strictly protective services because the state of Michigan is a vast entity, meaning you got the protective services part, you got dealing with IDs, you got dealing with all kinds of things, you know. So I have to be very careful what I say and all of that. But yeah, strictly protective services. So anyways, you know, they feel like they got this pool, they can hire the best lawyers, they got all this money, they can pay people to do stuff and all this junk. I remember a doctor, one of my doctors once told me, and I bullshit you not, once told me, I just went into her office to be seen that day, and you know what she tells me when I walk into the room with her? They're gonna kidnap you. She just kept saying, they're gonna kidnap you, like that. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? And I'm just standing there, like, what is she talking about? And then she kept saying, they're gonna kidnap you. And then finally she got quiet after I kept staring at her. And I'm looking at her like, I'm not scared of nobody. Ain't nobody gonna do shit to me. So what I did was, because of what she said to me, if somebody kidnapping me, I tore up her whole office. I just tore her shit straight up. Paper everywhere, knocked the computer over, everything. Like, now who gonna do something to me? Didn't even say nothing. But that's the main reason why I did what I did. It was because of that what she said to me. And then she didn't want me to come back there no more. You just can't sit there and make a threat to somebody, and then and and I'm supposed to just take that easy? No. I told her damn office straight up. Surely did. She could have called the police, but she didn't. But anywho, this is a story time for me to you. You know, try not to deal with protective services. If they tell you to do something, just do it. Just to prevent all this other bullshit that comes along with them. You know, because them people is not to be reckoned with. They just, to me personally, just me speaking, to me they evil people. You know, they hide behind a name, a good name, but behind that name is evil. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed the story time, and it'll be more coming soon. I might do another story time tomorrow. I don't know, but anyways, I'm about to finish cooking before the baby wakes up. So I hope y'all all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll get back with you later. All right, peace.